Hi there everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to my channel. Amongst other things, I'm a reenactor and a jouster, and today I want to talk to you about pikes. Now I'm recording on the 5th of November, which in England is fireworks night, so I apologise for any bangs and pops that you can hear in the background today. Today I want to talk to you about pikes because I was recently watching a video by Matt Easton and it reminded me of an idea that people tend to have about how pikes are like the kryptonite of cavalry. And in Matt's video, he did speak about how pikes against cavalry are extremely good, and he gave them a 10 out of 10 against cavalry. But I just wanted to speak into one of the misconceptions that comes from this idea, because it is correct in many ways. Blocks of pikes properly supported with missile troops that are well trained can be extremely effective against cavalry, and we see that time and time again. There are some instances where some cavalry units manage to defeat pike blocks. The issue comes with people thinking that a pike is a good weapon against cavalry. You see, a pike is extremely unwieldy and is not very good. So if we're talking about single combat infantry versus cavalry, you do not want to be taking a pike at all. Just like a spear, a pike it's possible to parry a pike. And once you get past that end point, the rest of it is very much useless, more so than with a spear, because you can't retreat quite as quickly because it's heavier and more unwieldy, and you can't turn and use the other end of it quite so well because obviously you have a huge long pole the other way. And as cavalry, it is possible to parry pole weapons. We see in movies and film, this doesn't really tend to happen. They just charge in and skewer themselves on whatever is available that they can skewer themselves on. But it is perfectly possible for a cavalryman armed with a lance or a spear or even a sword to parry an incoming lance, pike, spear, whatever, get behind the point and deliver a blow themselves. Pikes, cavalry is particularly good at doing this against a single pikeman because they can move so much faster than an infantryman. So usually if you are using a long spear or a pike and someone gets behind the point and is charging you down, one of the easiest things to do is to drop the pike and pick up your sidearm. In fact, in some treatises, we see people actually carrying their swords at the same time as carrying a spear, so that if someone gets beyond the point of the spear, they just drop the spear and the sword is already in their hand. Now, obviously, if you're already carrying the sword, then that's okay, but the speed that a cavalryman can move at is such that if they are able to parry the point of a pike, get beyond it, then your chance of drawing a secondary weapon or of retreating away from the cavalryman in order to do so are very, very low. And in historical treaties, we can see that pikes are generally not used in one-on-one situations between an infantryman and a cavalryman. Now, Matt knows all this. We've talked about it before. This isn't me criticizing Matt. This is me pointing out a misconception that that some people have, in that it is not so much the weapon that is used to defeat the cavalry, but it is the tactic of using a large block of pikemen to stop cavalry charges from hitting home. Now, if I were a cavalryman and I was fighting one-on-one with an enemy, then I would say probably the polearm that I would least like to face would be something like a partisan. The reason for that is that it is very difficult. I am told, I have no personal experience, it is very difficult to kill a horse. In fact, in manuals from the First World War and British Army manuals, it goes into details on how you have to do that. If you were to have to put a horse down for any reason in the field, then there are very limited ways that you can do that quickly and efficiently. Something like a partisan, which has a very broad blade and a short-ish staff shaft area, would be very effective for dealing large disemboweling wounds, and it would be short enough that you would be able to block the incoming lance strike as you try and move aside from the angle of attack of the cavalryman and deal your own wounding damage. Something like a poleaxe, as Matt very quite rightly says, it's designed for penetrating armor, and as such the wounds that it causes are very smaller, because the weapon is designed to punch through armor. It has smaller areas of impact. What that means is, against an unarmored foe, it deals less damage than something like a partisan. So that is what I would least like to face as a cavalryman in a one-on-one engagement. Well, thank you very much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. When you hear people talking like a pike is kryptonite to cavalry, then you can give them this little bit of context.
Cash and I would really like to thank you for watching this far into the video. Either you really liked it and you stayed this long, you really disagreed with most of the stuff in it and now you're very angry and typing a comment, or maybe you've just left a playlist playing and it's cropped up. If it's the first one, please do feel free to leave a like and or share, and if you haven't already, then subscribe. Thank you very much to my patrons for all of the support, and you can find a link to that and to my merch shop in the description down below. Thank you very much. Cash doesn't actually mind either way. I don't think she knows too much about YouTube. Here you go.